So we'll just take a couple of minutes just to make sure we're all comfortable. We can look to our breathing as a gauge to see if we're calm and relaxed and aware. Then we can start at our feet. Just note if there's any part of our feet that we can't feel. Might be on our heel, might be the tops of our toes. We can look to see where the exact edge of where we can feel and where we can't feel is. If there's any part of our foot that we can't feel, we can spend a minute or so concentrating on that bit, and where there's continued focus, we will start to notice very subtle sensations on the body. We can move on to our ankles. There may be parts of our ankles that might feel slightly hot or swollen or puffy or achy, or something that's, or any sensation that's slightly different to the other side. It might be the inside of our ankles, slightly warmer than the outside of our ankles. we can bring our lower legs into awareness. We can move around both of our lower legs with our awareness, and again we can investigate pleasant, subtle sensations. We can find the edge of uncomfortable sensations. While we don't push away strong, unpleasant sensations, our goal is to be aware of the entire body and not just the bits that shout the loudest. So we acknowledge the louder parts and concentrate on the subtler parts. And if there's a part where we can't feel anything, we can increase our focus until we can feel our entire lower legs both at the same time. If we can feel our entire lower legs, maybe a subtle tingling sensation throughout our entire legs, we can focus on the space between those sensations. And we note the more we concentrate, the more we zoom in, we're aware of all of the sensations of that part of our body, but the defining edges of our lower legs and our feet are fading away. We can feel sensations, but it's not so rigid. we can incorporate our knees into our awareness. We can, because of the heat, we can feel that the back of our knees are hotter than the front of our knees. There may be a sensation of sweat on the back of our knees. There may be a sensation of sweat on the front of our knees as well, but it's important not to judge this as good or bad. It's just yata bhuta, as it is. We may be able to feel quite different sensations on the front compared to the back of our knees. So where there's these extremes in experience, we can zoom in and look at the graduation from one sensation to the other. Where does one sensation completely stop and another completely start? If we're really hot and we're holding something cold, we may feel the cold in our hand, and the other side of our body, our head might be hot, but where exactly do we stop being cold and where do we start being hot? So meditating in this heat gives us this opportunity to really investigate the sensations of the body. We can now move to our upper legs. If we're finding it difficult, we can keep moving part by part throughout the body. But if there's a relaxed, subtle sensation, we can incorporate the whole body. So we're slowly filling up our body with awareness. we can feel the difference between how it feels on the back of our legs, where it's meeting the chair, compared to the front of our legs. Is it hotter? Is it colder? Are we finding ourselves uncomfortable? Have we found that labels of pleasant, unpleasant, good, bad are starting to become meaningless? Where we're aware of the same sensation, but rather than labelling it comfort or discomfort, we can just acknowledge this as heat or moisture. It's of the nature of our bodies to become hot when it's hot. It's of our nature to perspire. We are all lucky enough that we have instant access to water that can be too cold, gradually through to too hot. We can pick exactly the temperature that we want our bath or shower to be whenever we get home, whenever we like. So these sensations are temporary. We're not going to be hot forever. We're not going to be cold forever. We can move onto our bottom. We can feel our sit bones pressing into the chair. We can feel the sides of our hips. Our clothes might be tight round here, they might be loose round here. But we can try and feel the fabric on our skin. Is it light? Is there a sense of air? There may be an itchy sensation. If we're itchy, we can make a choice whether to scratch that part of our body. But if we can resist, we can note that that itchy sensation often leaves whether we scratch it or not. There may be an itchy sensation somewhere in our body that we're not concentrating on, that's drawing our attention away, and if we can manage to not scratch it, we can use that as a teacher, helping us to refocus on what we choose and not what the body chooses. It won't come to harm if we don't scratch it. So we don't need to scratch that itch. We can now incorporate our tummies and lower back, either as a continued part of our whole body, or if we're finding it difficult, its own individual part. There's no need to rush working through the body. There's no medal when we complete a body scan. There's nothing for us to achieve, there's nothing for us to do. So by taking this very methodical, slow practice through, we can note to see if impatience arises. We may have strange thoughts arise. This is very nice, but can we move on? But moving through slowly like this just teaches us to calm down and to enjoy the present moment. We're not achieving good meditation. We don't read a book to get to the final word. We can move up to our chest and our upper back. We can note, is it hotter? Is it cooler? Is there moisture? Is there dryness? Is there tension when we're breathing? Is it an effort to breathe in? Or do our lungs fill without our effort? If there is tension and we are forcing our breath even slightly, we can let go of that tension and see if we breathe anyway. We can move to our neck. There may be tension. There may be a sense of relaxation. There may be heat. There may be tingling. Maybe we can feel heat coming off our body and hitting our neck under our chin where it's more sensitive. There may be waves of sensations. All of a sudden we have a wave of heat or moisture or breeze. We can just sit there and observe these sensations like we'd watch the sea come out or move in. When we're sitting on the beach, watching the sea, we're naturally zooming in and zooming out and enjoying the whole experience. And that's what we do with meditation. We have that same mind. We're not trying to understand the water, but we're observing what happens. We can note if the tide's coming in, if the tide's going out. We can follow a wave from the horizon all the way to the shore. We can play around with this and have a nice relaxing experience, and it's with that mind we're observing the body. And for the last 5 or so minutes, we can either observe the whole body, including our face and head, or we can focus on just our face and head. Now we're calmer and we haven't moved for a while. Maybe easier to enjoy the subtle sensations on our face.